guys, so I am back with the fifth video and the final video of the video series on data handling class 8 maths, and in this video we are going to talk about a very important concept that is called probability. In fact, this is not only useful right now, but this is something which you're going to study in depth even in your higher classes like in your 11th and 12th. So please pay attention and get your concept crystal cleared. I am Roshni from LearnoHub, the free learning platform where you get to study everything about maths and science absolutely for free at learnohub.com. So watch the entire video and make the concept of probability crystal clear. Let's get started.
So we have learned a lot about data till now. We learned about how to handle data in a better way, how to represent data in graphs, pie charts, bar graphs, and how organizing data helps us. So having said so much about data, a very important thing comes into picture, a very important concept rather comes into picture, and that concept is a matter of chance. And that is where we introduce something called probability. Now you might think that how probability is linked to data handling. So very soon it will become very clear to you. So when we talk about probability, what are we talking about? This guy, when he is traveling on his scooter, he sees clouds in the sky. But he has doubts whether it will rain or not. He is not very sure that it will rain. He is also not sure that it will not rain. When you toss a coin, you are not sure whether it will be a head or a tail. You don't know. So there are chances that it might be a head. There are equal amount of chances that it might be a tail as well. So these are your possibilities. It might be a head, it might be a tail. When you play cricket and when the batsman bats, it might be a 6, it might be a 4, it might be a 2, it might also be out. So we do not know again that what is going to be the outcome. So these are all possibilities, whether it is a 6 or a 4 or a 2 or a 1, these are all possibilities that might be the result of the action of the batsman. When you appear in your exams went really good, but still you're not sure whether you will be the topper or not, whether you will top or you will not. So again, in all of these examples, what do you see? You see that everywhere there is something called possibility. There is a possibility that it might rain. There is a possibility that it might not rain. So everywhere it is a matter of chance. It might happen that it is a head. It might happen that it is a tail. So everywhere there is some possibility that one event can happen. There is also some possibility that some other event can happen. So this is what we basically talk about in probability. Now when we talk about data handling, so in data handling, we saw that we are dealing with huge amount of data. So everywhere we have taken so many examples till now. Somewhere we spoke about the scores obtained by students in a class. Somewhere we are talking about the heights or weights of children in a class. Somewhere we talked about the favorite fruits of different people. So we have taken examples of those kinds. But when you really have huge amount of data, probability plays a role, because not always you are very sure that okay, these are the number of students who would score more than 90%. You are not very sure on the numbers always. So when we are talking about data, talking about probability becomes important, because not everywhere we are sure of the data. So many a times we have possibilities of success or failures. We have possibilities of a 6 or a 4. We have possibilities of a rain or a sunny day. So everywhere we talk about possibilities. Now what exactly is probability? It is the chances of occurrence of an outcome in a random experiment. Now random experiment could be anything. When we are tossing a coin, that is a random experiment for us, because tossing a coin is just an event, but it is a random experiment for us. And what could be the outcome of this experiment? The outcome could be a head. The outcome could also be a tail. So head and tail, these are two possible outcomes. Now, what is the probability or what is the chance that a head might come? is 50%. There is a 50% chance that a head might come. There is a 50% chance that a tail might come. So how much is the chance of occurrence of a particular outcome in any random experiment? That is what we call as probability. So as we see, probability of each head as well as tail is 1/2 because both of these are equally possible or equally probable. Now, let us take another example of probability. Now, I am sure all of you would have played Ludo somewhere or the other in your lifetime. So, Ludo is a very common indoor game. Now, while playing Ludo, you might have used the dice. So, how does a dice look like? So, this is how a dice looks like. It has 6 sides, and on the 6 sides you have these dots which indicates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So every time you throw the dice, it shows one particular side. So basically it shows one particular number. So what are the possible outcomes when you throw a dice? What are the possible outcomes? Now the outcome would be 1. The dice will show just one value. But what are the possible values? The possible values are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the possible outcomes when you throw a dice. You might end up seeing a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4 or a 5 or a 6. But you cannot see anything other than these. So these are the only possible outcomes when you throw a dice. And each of these outcomes is equally probable because when we are throwing a dice, it is not that the chances of getting a 6 is more than the chances of getting a 3. Does that happen? No, it is just a matter of chance. It might be a 3, it might be a 4, it might be a 2, it can be anything. So what is the probability of each of these? So if I ask you that what is the probability that you will get a 1 when you throw a dice? So the probability of getting 1 is 1/6 because there are 6 total possible outcomes and getting 1 is just one outcome out of those 6 outcomes. So therefore the probability of getting 1 is 1/6. What is the probability that you will get a 3? So again the probability of getting 3 is 1/6 because 3 is just one outcome out of the 6 possible outcomes. So probability of getting a 3 is also 1/6. What is the probability of getting a 5? That is also 1/6. What is the probability of getting a 6? That is also 1/6 because probability of getting any of these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 is equal because all of them are equally likely outcomes. So every time you throw the dice, it could be any of these numbers. Right? So this is another example where we talk about probability because these are very common examples where you actually witness that the chance that it is just a matter of chance that anything can be the outcome. Sometimes while playing Ludo, you would have seen that when you throw the dice simultaneously for maybe 4 to 5 times, 2 times you got 2, 2 times you got 6, and then you got a 1. So you just get anything. You just can get anything. But the probability of getting any of these numbers are equal and each of their probability is 1/6. Now another very popular example of probability comes into picture with the playing cards. Now have you ever played with these playing cards? If not, you must be knowing about it because this is also a very common game. Now when you see a pack of cards, inside the packet, do you know how many cards exist? There exists a total of 52 cards. Now when you look at those 52 cards, you would see that actually there are just 4 types of cards. Maybe their numbers are more, but there are 4 types of cards. And here on the screen you can see the 4 types of cards: club, diamond, heart and spade. So club and spade, they are black in color. Diamond and heart, they are red in color. So these are the only 4 types of cards that you see in a pack of 52 cards. Now you might ask, then why do we have 52 cards? That's because each of these type, for example, if you talk about club. So in club, you would have ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, king and queen. So all together you have these many things in each type of card. So basically in each type of card you have 13 cards. So you have 13 cards for diamond, you have 13 cards for heart, 13 for spade and 13 for club. And all of them would have a king, all of them would have a queen, all of them would have a jack, all of them would have an ace, and so on. So that's how the cards look like. So basically you have total 52 cards. You have 4 types of cards, each type 13 cards. So now if I ask you that what is the probability of getting a diamond 5? So that means I am telling you that I want to know the probability of getting a diamond 5. So when I say a diamond, now diamond is one type out of the 4 cards. But in diamond also I am very specific that I want it to be a diamond with number 5. Now in diamond also you do have different cards, like you have ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, king, queen. So many different cards are there. So we want diamond 5. So what would be its probability? Now the total number of probability of getting any card. Now since there are total 52 cards, so the total number of probability is 52. Because we have 52 different cards. So whenever you throw a card, it could be any of these cards. Any of these cards, right? So the total possible outcomes is 52. Now we want a specific card. We want a diamond 5. Now how many cards which are diamond and which is also 5 will exist? So in these 52 cards, how many cards are diamond and 5? There is just one card which is a diamond and also a 5. So now the probability of getting that one card would be 1 out of 52, because 52 is the total number of outcomes, total number of possible outcomes. So the total possible outcomes is 52 and the possibility of getting a diamond 5 is just 1. So this probability would be 1 by 52. Now if I ask you what is the probability of getting a queen? Now here I have not mentioned whether the queen has to be a diamond queen or a heart queen or a club queen or a spade queen. So I have just told the probability of getting a queen. It could be any of these queens, right? So in this case, what would be the probability? Now here also the total possible outcomes is 52. Total possible outcomes here also is 52 because the total number of cards is still 52. But here we want any queen. So how many cards which are queen exist in these 52 cards? How many cards for queen exists? Total number of queens that exist in a pack of 52 cards is 4, because you will have one queen for club, one queen for diamond, one queen for heart and one queen for spade. Now since we have not mentioned which queen, so the probability of getting a queen would be 4 by 52, because you have 4 possibilities of queen divided by the total possibilities, that is 52. So it would be 4 by 52. Now let us say, what will be the probability of getting a spade? That means now I am not even specifying whether it should be a queen or 5 or 1 or whatever. I am just saying that what is the possibility that the card is a spade. Now in this case, the total possible outcomes still remains to be 52. But how many cards are spade in a pack of 52 cards? Now as I have mentioned before that there would be 13 cards for spade in the entire packet. Now these 13 cards, one of these would be queen, one would be king, one would be jack, one would be 3, 4, 5, etc. But we are not worried about what is the number of the card. We only want the probability of getting a spade. So the total possibilities of getting a spade is 13. So therefore the probability of getting a spade would be 13 divided by 52. So now looking at the way we are finding out probability, what do we conclude? We conclude that probability of an event is equal to the number of outcomes for that event divided by the total number of outcomes. That is the total number of possibilities. So whenever we are talking about the probability of particular event, so let us take the same example of playing cards. Now let us say if we want to find out the probability of getting a red card, because I have told you that there are total 4 types of card, out of which diamond and heart are red in color, club and spade are black in color. So if we ask you that what is the possibility to get a red card, now here we are not even bothered whether that red card is a diamond or a heart, or whether that red card is a king or a queen or a jack or a 5 or a 6 or a 9. So we are not bothered about the numbers on the card. We are not even bothered whether it is a diamond or a heart. We only want to know what is the probability of getting a red card. So in this case, what is the total number of possibilities with 52 cards? The total number of possibilities is 52. And how many red cards do we have in that pack of 52 cards? How many red cards do we have? Because as we have discussed before that we have 4 types of card and the number of each type of card is 13. So total how many red cards do we have? We have 13 plus 13, that is 26 red cards. That means there are 26 possible outcomes. There are 26 outcomes that we can get to as a red card. So we can get a red diamond 5, we can get a red heart 6, we can get a red heart king, we can get a red diamond queen. So there are how many total outcomes for a red card? So total possible outcomes for a red card will be 26. Therefore the probability of getting a red card will be 26 by 52. So this is how we calculate, right? So what are we actually doing? We are actually considering the number of outcomes of an event, that is number of outcomes for getting a red card. So that would be 26 divided by the total number of possible outcomes, which is 52. And that is how we have calculated the probabilities before also. So when we have calculated the probability of getting a queen or a spade or a diamond 5, so we have used the same logic. So if you want, you can apply the same logic and you can try to find out probabilities of more events like this. So based on whatever we have learned about the basics of probability, we will now try to look at some of the questions. So question number 1, list the outcomes you can see in these experiments. Spinning a wheel. So as you can see here in the picture, spinning a wheel. So here in this wheel, what are the possible options that we have? So what are the possible outcomes? The possible outcomes could be A, B, C and D. These are the possible outcomes because here also you have A. So the outcome would be A. So you have 4 possible outcomes. Tossing 2 coins together. Now any coin, so whenever you talk about any one coin, that one coin, whenever you toss that coin, it has 2 options. It can give you a head or a tail. Now when you have 2 coins together, now you are tossing 2 coins together. So one option is, now let us note down all the options. So the first option could be that you tossed both the coins together. So you got head in both of them. So that is option 1. Option 2 is you tossed both of them together. In the first coin you got a head, in the second coin you got a tail. Option 3 is in the first coin you got a tail and in the second coin you got a head. And the last option could be in the first coin you got a tail and in the last coin also you got a tail. So what are the total number of outcomes? So the total possible outcomes are 4 when you are tossing 2 coins together. Now in case you had been tossing 3 coins together, in that case it could have been something like this. So the possible options could have been something like this: head, 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 tail, head, tail, head, and so on. So if you want, you can try this out as an exercise and see what are the total number of possible outcomes when you toss 3 coins together. Question number 2. When a die is thrown, list the outcomes of an event of getting a prime number, not a prime number. Okay. Now, whenever we throw a dice, what are the total number of possibilities? So, total possibilities. With a dice, the total number of possibilities would be 6. So it could give a 1, a 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. So the total number of outcomes is 6, right? Now, in the first option, we have to find out what is the probability of getting a prime number. So probability of getting a prime number. So this would be equal to total number of outcomes, that is 6. And in the numerator, we have to find out the total outcomes for a prime number. So out of these 6 numbers, which are the prime numbers? So the prime numbers that we have are 2, 3 and 5. So these are the prime numbers that we have. So we actually have 3 prime numbers. So therefore, the total possibilities of getting a prime number is 3. So the probability of getting a prime number would be 3 by 6. Similarly, what would be the probability of getting a non-prime number? So how many non-prime numbers do we have? So the non-prime numbers are 1, 4 and 6. So they are also 3 in number. So this would also be 3 by 6. So the probability of getting a prime number and the probability of getting a non-prime number are equal. A number greater than 5. Now again here, how many numbers are greater than 5? Out of the total possibilities, how many numbers are greater than 5? Only one number, that is only 6 is greater than 5. So the possibility of getting a number greater than 5 is equal to 1 by 6 because we just have one number which is greater than 5. Probability of getting a number not greater than 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, all of these are not greater than 5. Therefore, the probability of getting a number not greater than 5 will be equal to 5 by 6 because we have 5 such numbers which are not greater than 5. So therefore, the total possibilities of getting a number not greater than 5 is 5 and this divided by the total possible outcomes which is 6. So this would be 5 by 6. Question number 3. Find the probability of getting an ace from a well-shuffled deck of 52 playing cards. Now, as we have discussed before, that out of these total 52 cards, now we have total 52 cards and out of these 52 cards, we have 4 types of cards, right? Like the spade, diamond, club, and heart. And each of these cards, there are 13 cards of each of these types. Now, what are these 13 cards? For each of them, we have an ace. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till 10. And we have a king, a queen, and a jack. So that this makes the 13 cards. Right? And these 13 cards exist for all of these. So this makes the pack of 52 cards. Now we have to find out the probability of getting an ace. Now, in order to find the probability of getting an ace, first of all, we will have to find out the total possible outcomes with 52 cards. Now, since you have 52 cards, so the total possible outcomes will be 52. Now we have to find out the total possible outcome for an ace. So how many aces do you have in these pack of 52 cards? So you will have one ace for spade, you will have one ace for diamond, you will have one ace for club, you will have one ace for heart. So total you have 4 aces. So the probability of getting an ace is 4. The probability of the total possible outcomes with ace is 4. So the probability of getting an ace would be 4 by 52, which is equal to 1 by 13. Question number 4. Find the probability of getting a red apple. So here in this picture you see that there are few red apples and few green apples. So what is the probability of getting a red apple? So what is the probability of getting any apple? Basically, what is the total possible outcomes? Total how many apples are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the total possible outcomes is 7. And what is the probability that the apple is red? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4. So the probability of getting a red apple is 4 by 7. Question number 5. If you have a spinning wheel with 3 green sectors, 1 blue sector and 1 red sector, what is the probability of getting a green sector? What is the probability of getting a non-blue sector? So first of all, let us try to draw the spinning wheel. Only then we will be able to solve this. So let us say this is our spinning wheel, and as per the question, we have 3 green sectors. 1, 2, 3. So these are the 3 green sectors. We have 1 blue sector and we have 1 red sector. So these are the different sectors that we have on the wheel. Now what is the probability of getting a green sector? So the probability of getting a green sector would be how many green sectors you have? 1, 2, 3. So that is the possibility of getting a green sector. So possible green outcomes are 3. And what are the total possible outcomes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be 3 by 5. So the probability of getting a green sector is 3 by 5. Now what is the probability of getting a non-blue sector? Non-blue sector. So in order to find out the possibility of a non-blue sector, let us first find out the possibility of a blue sector. Now there are different ways of doing it. Now one option is find out the possibility of non-blue sector directly. So possibility of a non-blue sector. Now what are what is the total possible outcomes of non-blue sector? So this is a non-blue sector, this is a non-blue sector, this is a non-blue sector, this is a non-blue sector. So there are 4 possible outcomes for a non-blue sector. And what is the total number of outcomes? That is again 5. So the possibility of getting a non-blue sector is 4 by 5. So you see, everywhere when you try to solve a problem on probability, you just need to remember this simple logic that to find out probability of any event, you will have to find out the total possible outcomes for that event divided by the total possible outcomes in that entire experiment. Now when you throw a dice, the total possible outcomes in throwing a dice is always 6. When you play with cards, the total possible number of outcomes will always be 52 because there are 52 cards in the pack. Right? So every time you will have to calculate it like this, the possible outcomes for that event divided by the total possible outcomes for that entire random experiment.
I hope you found the video useful, and if you really understood the concept well, do write in the comment section that concept hua crystal clear. And I will see you all very soon with a new topic and a new video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.